If there's one thing we love more than our favorite Disney princess, it is to see many of them at the same time. We discovered that many of these characters lived in the same universe, as there are many connections between them. When you know where the boat from the Little Mermaid comes from, you'll never look at it the same way again. If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe, and please give this video a big thumbs up. Today, we're telling you more about 10 Disney princess connections that will make your jaw drop. The Little Mermaid and Moana. These two Disney princesses couldn't be more different. One of them wanted to leave the sea to live on land, while the other one wanted to leave the land to live out on sea. Ariel had pale skin and red wavy hair, and the Polynesian character had brown skin and curly brown hair. But what could be the link between these two princesses? In the last video, we saw that Flounder made a quick swim onto the screen. You probably missed it if you blinked, but he was there during the song You're Welcome. And this time, we won't forget Ariel's other best friend. There was one thing these two young women both did: meeting a crab. Sebastian was the mermaid's best friend who wanted to help her realize her dreams, even though they wouldn't be able to swim together in the sea anymore. Tamatoa, on the other hand, was a little less kind. The monstrous hermit crab had acquired Maui's magical fishhook, among with many other treasures. The two friends managed to escape with the hook, and Tamatoa was flipped onto his back. This was when he said that if his name was Sebastian and that he had a Jamaican accent, they would totally help him. This was a not-so-subtle reference to the sea creature we all know, and we have to admit that this moment made us all laugh. Sleeping Beauty and the Little Mermaid. Ariel is not only connected to one, but many universes. Royalty is all about family, so it is not surprising that some of our favorite Disney characters are related. But we never expected a Disney character who lived in the 14th century to be seen centuries later in the 19th century. Many fans claimed that they saw a picture of Aurora and Prince Philip hanging on the wall in the dining room of Eric's castle. It could be seen when Ariel was having dinner with the prince on her first night on land. As you can see, the blonde woman was wearing the same blue dress and golden crown as Aurora. The man also had a hairstyle that makes him look like Prince Philip. According to this theory, Eric might be the direct descendant of the couple from Sleeping Beauty, almost 500 years after. This would explain why the painting was in his castle. And the ancestors and great-grandson also shared one similarity. They both fell in love with the voice of a woman. Or maybe Disney just wanted to remind us of the last movie they did. Even though we will probably never really know who these two people are, we want to agree with those who thought about this theory. Make sure to watch this video to the end to know another universe Ariel is connected to. Aladdin and many movies. Genie was probably one of the funniest Disney cartoon characters. Spending 10,000 years in a lamp made him a little crazy, but that was what we loved about him. He didn't mind impersonating someone else, including our favorite characters. His best transformations from the first movie and Aladdin and the King of Thieves included Pocahontas when he jumped off a plane, and Pinocchio also made a brief appearance. You could even see Genie pull Sebastian out of his bag of tricks. Only the greatest actor could voice so many characters, and his name is Robin Williams. When recording voices, the actor improvised so much that they had almost 16 hours of material. This is also the reason why the script was rejected for Best Adapted Screenplay Academy Award nomination. Williams ad-libbed too much. And after all this, we think that the result was worth much more than an award. But how can this character know about all this, even though he lived centuries before and spent thousands of years in a lamp? Many fans believe that Aladdin, Jasmine, and Genie never existed. This was nothing but a story told by the seller who wanted to convince us to buy an old lamp. This could explain why this movie was so perfect. It was too good to be true. Brave and Monsters, Inc. You wouldn't think that the main female characters from these two movies have anything in common. What is the connection between the cute and dependent little Boo and the strong and independent grown-up Merida? According to some fan theories, these two girls actually met each other. Many people believe that the character from Monsters, Inc. grew up to be the witch in Brave. You need an explanation. According to this theory, Boo would grow up learning magic. Monsters will be the source of inspiration for her favorite trick, disappearing through doors. And since she would learn how to travel from one room to another, she could also travel in time. This is how she would go back centuries before to the Dark Ages. But she would keep something to remind her of her childhood. A carving of Sully. You can clearly see the monster in the movie, and we can't deny that one. Some fans also believe that Brave explained the reason why some animals behave like humans. Merida discovered magic and accidentally turned her mother into a bear. This might explain why animals have human characteristics. She is probably not the only one who made this kind of mistake. What do you think about these theories? Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. If you watched our first video, you already know that Belle's favorite book was actually about a movie we all know. She described it as a story that happened in far-off places with sword fights, magic spells, and a prince in disguise. So it is pretty clear that this could be a reference to Prince Ali and Jasmine's love story. And actually, there are many other connections between Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. When the bookworm was walking around the city, you could see something that belonged to the thief. It is difficult to see, but a man might be holding a magic carpet. He will probably be surprised when he finds out about what this thing can do. As the movie about the thief was released only a year after Beauty and the Beast, we could bet the creators gave us these 2 hints to let us know what was coming next. And if this is not enough to convince you, we have spotted something else in the movie Aladdin. When the Sultan was stacking up a bunch of toy figurines and Jafar caused him to tumble, you could see a character we all know amongst them. It was the Beast. These characters will probably never meet each other, as they live centuries apart, but if they did, they would probably see that they have seen each other before. Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs and Tangled. Stepmothers can be wonderful women, but not when it comes to Disney movies. Snow White and Rapunzel were 2 unlucky young women who lived with one of these mean characters. The first princess had to run away from her castle when the queen asked the hunter to get rid of her and come back with her heart. And Mother Gothel locked Rapunzel in a castle for over 2 years so she could use the power of her hair to make the clock reverse. These 2 evil characters shared many similarities, and this is why some fans think that these 2 stepmothers were actually the same person. They both wanted to be the fairest of them all. The queen was jealous of Snow White's beauty, and Mother Gothel didn't mind using the blonde princess to stay young forever. Moreover, they were both witches who used their power against the princess. Are you wondering how this woman managed to be part of these 2 stories, even though they were centuries apart? Tangled gave you the explanation for this. Mother Gothel was really old at the beginning of the movie, just like the queen would be. The magic flower was the reason why she looked so young. And as you can see, when these 2 characters looked like old hags, they were actually pretty much the same. The queen already survived one fall, and she could survive the other one. Tangled and many movies. Rapunzel is not only connected to one movie, but to many of our favorite characters. Rapunzel discovered many things when she escaped a tower, and so did we during the whole film. You could see many cameos or references to our favorite stories in Tangled. For example, you could see Pinocchio in The Snuggly Duckling. He was on the top right corner in the rafters, right after Cupid was swung to the right of the screen. In the same scene, you could see Pumbaa from The Lion King. The reason why we saw them during the song I've Got a Dream was because they had a dream too. Pinocchio wanted to be a real boy, and Pumbaa wanted to be accepted, despite having bad gas. And they were not the only ones you could see in the movie. There were many references to our favorite Disney princesses, including the spinning wheel from Sleeping Beauty, the apple from Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, a dresser and a rose from Beauty and the Beast, a shell from the Little Mermaid, and a slipper from Cinderella. Moreover, when Rapunzel was looking for something in a book, you could see the books of Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, and Sleeping Beauty. These are all good reasons to watch this movie again, to see if we can spot all these things. Sleeping Beauty and Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. These 2 stories were pretty similar. The 2 princesses dreamed of finding the love of their life before they were put into a deep sleep because of a mean character. There were also tiny people taking care of them. The dwarfs let Snow White live in their house, and the short fairy godmothers raised Aurora as their own daughter. But the most important thing that made these 2 women so special was that they had been saved by the kiss of a prince. This is why Walt Disney's constant mantra when working on Sleeping Beauty was that the film could not be like Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. But that didn't keep them from using the first movie as inspiration for Sleeping Beauty. The idea of the couple dancing in the clouds as a finale was supposed to be used as a finale for Snow White, but it was only part of Sleeping Beauty years later. Moreover, many ideas discarded from the first Disney princess movie were used in this new story. It included the prince being captured and escaping the castle. It wasn't part of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs because Walt Disney didn't believe animators could draw a male character believably enough. The Little Mermaid and Frozen. These 2 girls were both known for one thing: water. The Little Mermaid lived under the sea, and the Queen controlled water that was much colder with her ice power. They also liked hiding away in a secret place, a sunken ship, and an ice castle. But these are not the only connections between Elsa and Ariel. Water was actually the source of a tragic event for the Ice Queen, and the reason why the mermaid made an amazing discovery. Many fans believe that the boat in which Elsa's parents were traveling was the one that the mermaid found underwater. There was a shipwreck in the storm, and the boat sunk, only for Ariel to discover it years later. No one confirmed this theory, but the co-director of Frozen, Chris Buck, is not against this idea. He already confirmed that, in his heart, Elsa's parents didn't pass away on the ship. They were washed up on the shore of a jungle, built a treehouse, and had a little baby boy. Buck didn't say anything about the Little Mermaid, but he said something that makes us believe in the theory. He said that whatever people want to believe, they should go for it. If we want to tie these two movies together, we could do it. That's the spirit of Disney. Mickey Mouse and the Disney Princess movies. All the Disney princesses had something in common. No, they were not all princesses from the start, and not all of them needed a man to save their lives. But they were all heroes of a movie produced by Disney. And to make sure that you remember this, the creators hid a little character in many films. You can see Mickey Mouse, the mascot, in most of the movies. The famous character was already part of the first Disney princess movie, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. You could see him in the bubble around Dopey. Then, in Cinderella, our favorite little mouse was hiding in the bubbles again. It was easier to see him in The Little Mermaid, as he was in the audience at the concert. In Beauty and the Beast, he was more subtle in the decorations. In Aladdin, Raja was even transformed for a moment. You could also see Disney's mascot on the necklace of the Queen from Tangled. And in one of the latest movies, Frozen, Mickey Mouse was on the shelf. So this makes all the Disney princesses connected in some way. These are all great reasons to do a Disney movie marathon and see if we can find the little mouse in our favorite films. And that's it for 10 Disney princess connections that will make your jaw drop. Is there any theory that you don't believe in? Tell us what you think in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel for more stories like this, and if you haven't seen it yet, don't forget to watch 10 Disney princess connections that will make your jaw drop Part 1. Thanks for watching!